Having success with startups and products require many components, but none is more important than getting the timing right. If you work with tech products, you must understand the predictable but often irrational patterns of technology adoption. You have probably heard the term hype cycle before and are aware we might be in an AI tech bubble now. It is time for career professionals, entrepreneurs, investors, and product developers to understand what that means and learn how to ride the hype. I am Marsh, a technology investor. My interest in the hype cycle originated in the 1990s when the internet adoption changed the world. I'll share the model and the secrets I learned in the past 30 years to master market timing. Let's dive in. Welcome to CareerZCast. The idea that technology adoption is not linear has been explored by masters of product strategy, like in the books Crossing the Chasm and Innovator's Dilemma. A truly innovative technology is never adopted quickly or linearly. It follows a predictably rational pattern called the hype cycle. The model, originally proposed by the Gartner Group, tracks visibility, the level of excitement and expectations over time. After we review the 5 phases of the cycle, I'll share the core secret that explains why the cycle must exist, and then show you the windows of opportunity you can use to launch a startup, manage a product, or advance your career. So let's define the 5 phases of the hype cycle. In the beginning of the times, there is a technology trigger. A new technology is invented or unveiled. Technical experts dream of its potential and share that vision with others. The launch of ChatGPT in 2022 will go into the history books as a trigger to the current AI hype cycle. Expectations grow exponentially until we hit the peak of inflated expectations. The media, general public, and investors get involved. Everyone wants to join the big wave. Today, we are living that moment with AI, with unrealistic expectations at its peak. From the peak, there is only one way down. The bubble bursts because initial trials show the technology cannot yet deliver. Chatbots hallucinate, self-driving cars cannot navigate the parking lot, and we realize there is a need for a regulatory framework. Users lose interest, momentum investors leave, and startups fail. Until we reach the slope of enlightenment. Only people with long-term vision and persistence continue working. They mature the technology, educate users, and build solutions for the real viable use cases. We start seeing real successful implementations. Until we reach the plateau of productivity. The technology delivers on the initial vision. This can take years, maybe 10 to 15 years for something completely transformative like AI. The dream becomes reality and the winners harvest the results. Every hype cycle generates disruption, creating winners and losers. But why can't we just be realistic and execute a plan based on 10 years of gradual, controlled adoption? The real answer is that human and market behavior is not compatible with the ROI models we use in corporations. To enable technology to change the future, there is a need for an early, massive long-term infrastructure investment. For example, in the 1990s, hundreds of billions were invested in laying fiber and cables around the planet to enable the internet. In 2026, hundreds of billions of dollars will be invested on data center infrastructure and electrical power to run AI computations. CEOs in big tech deciding those massive investments in organizations driven by short-term metrics, making realistic projections of timing and impact so they can provide the rational justification needed to raise the initial capital to build the core infrastructure we all rely on a decade later. Over the past 30 years, I have applied the hype cycle model to plan career moves, product launches, investments, and my startup plans. Here are 3 strategies I have employed successfully in the past using the current AI hype cycle as an example. Strategy 1. Strategic entry point. Be aware that pioneers often fail. The entities making the early investments are often not the entities that capture the final returns. If you're building the core infrastructure like data center or power, you need to embrace the hype and take advantage of it to raise the capital for core investments that will enable the future. Now, if you're developing last mile applications closer to the user, success early in the cycle is a very long shot. You must have the long term vision, patience, and money to survive through the long term. For AI, my advice is the next great opportunity to join or launch an AI startup is after the bottom, when the technology starts to climb and be applied in productive ways to solve tangible business problems. Strategy 2, the pick and shovel strategy. During a gold rush boom and bust, the company selling picks and shovels is the one making the money. For example, with AI today, NVIDIA selling GPUs, builders of data center infrastructure, and clean energy are great examples of industries that will do well, regardless of when the final AI applications succeed. Invest in those areas is a lower risk strategic career or investment move. Strategy number 3, product managers do it yourself hype cycle. If you're a product manager, the hype cycle model is a great tool to plan the launch of a next version of an existing product. You need to be optimistic and enthusiastic about the promise of the new version to get the company and customers excited. You need to hype up the new version. Be prepared to navigate the initial disappointment with the new version as it lacks coverage for legacy features, and then have the long-term view to climb the slope of enlightenment. Manage the hype cycle internally to drive a successful transition to your V2 product. The hype cycle is a simple yet incredibly powerful model to anticipate what's to come. It is an excellent planning tool for the introduction of new products and technology. An important takeaway is that timing is everything. As an entrepreneurial product manager, if you don't understand this cycle, you run the risk of creating false expectations and ultimately crashing the project. Remember, 95% of all startups die because they don't understand the hype cycle. Start or join the 5% who ride the wave successfully. I hope this discussion was valuable. Please share and subscribe to the channel for more career strategy content. And I see you in the next episode of CareerZCast.